with the incubator, we try and create a community. We have people who say, we've got a family reunion coming up and we want 400 jars of grandma's sauce so that everyone can take one home and remember her. Fantastic, we'll do everything, you just send us a recipe. And then we have people who say, I'm a farmer and I've got too many papaya. What can I do with all these papaya? And we'll work with them on a jam recipe and creating a commercial plan so they've got a new income stream for their farm.
We cut the plant, we get the core, the pineapple or pina, and then we'll shred that up, cook it with hot water, and then chuck the yeast in when it cools down to below 40 degrees, and let the yeast do the hard work, then distill it. So, yeah, and we're getting plants that are after about 4 years now. So it's a long-winded process.
I have a long history in economic development and working with small businesses and mentoring them and so on. And so I was actually working out of this office space originally, doing some business mentoring with the NICE program and with Ignite FNQ. And then about a year after I had moved on into a new role, Mick James rang me up and said, Lara, do you think you could come and help me? We have a government grant and I need to acquit it and I need some reporting done. So I came in purely on a contract part-time basis just to help out with administration and reporting, and fell in love not only with the business itself. Mick and Mary James are just two of the most beautiful human beings on the planet and what they do for the food industry, but also our clients. Like when you start talking to people who this is their family recipe, their grandmother's way of showing love was this particular relish or this particular sauce, and then they want to share that with the world.
The idea come from the fact of learning how hard and difficult it was to start up a facility for our own product, let alone other people trying to do the same sort of thing. So we come up with the idea that we would allow this as a shared facility and take some of the capital cost out of starting a product, getting it out there, testing the product, seeing whether you've got a market for your product. Because in the end, you've got to have a market. Facility like this has certain protocols. The air conditioning area in that clean room is HEPA filtered, sterile, because it's all about food safety. And food safety is not about just that it might go off. It might be that it's contaminated by a person or people. So it's a safety thing. You really can't do that efficiently at home. You need a factory to do it, to get the volume through. 1,000 units is a nice quantity. Anything under that, you're really going to be struggling to make enough money to feed yourself.
I brought the seeds over from Mexico 10 years ago. And then we started just planting them wherever we could, and extremely labour intensive, but it's I'm pretty happy with what we're producing. I think out of all the products, it's the most exciting. It's the most nefarious and sort of, it's weird because you're making it out of a vegetable, not just sugar. So yeah, it's an interesting one. We started off making banana liqueur. Once we saved up enough money for our biggest still, Helga, and we started production of rum. So that was around about 2007. And then, yeah, so this is all the fruits of the labour there. The Iridium's actually got Best Pot Stilled Rum 3 years in a row at the World Rum Awards. Out of those 3 years, it got Best Rum in the World for the other 2. So it's got a pretty good pedigree. So we use cane syrup, not molasses, for the rum. We trialled fresh juice, molasses, and then also the cane syrup, and it's actually was the best quality product. So that's why we're stuck with it.
So we have quite a few syrup companies coming through. Beech Tree Distilling that we talked about, they're actually working on a range of non-alcoholic vodkas and gins. So that's a really, really fancy cordial. How do we then work that in with the sugar industry? We've done work in the past with MSF Sugar around how they can commercialise and create new products. It's not actually a new product, it's still the same sugar, but how they market that and package it differently. We've also worked with a number of syrup companies. The big thing we're hearing from syrup and cordial at the moment is they want syrups and cordial with actual fruit in them. So trying to combine that sugar supplier with someone with pineapples or mangoes or whatever other flavour you want to put in there. We've also seen a big expanse in the syrup industry to embrace those native ingredients. So Solano syrups that we work with in Townsville, they now have a Davidson plum syrup and they have a finger lime syrup, and they're using more of those native ingredients, which is good to see.
I think the facility's got a great future. There's nothing like it north of Brisbane. I hope it's here a lot longer than I am.